In this video, we're going to talk about standard form and polynomial addition. Standard form is a way of writing a polynomial so that the exponents go from greatest to least in the terms. So we're going to write standard form, terms written so exponents go from greatest to least. And the reason we would want to do that is so it's really easy to tell the leading coefficient, and it's also very easy to tell the degree, and it's also just a nice way to organize it. You always know where to expect a certain term to show up. So if we do these examples here, the first one is 3x to the fourth minus 2x to the fifth plus 3x minus 4x squared. And the highest exponent that we have is this x to the fifth. So we're going to take that whole term and write it first. So that's going to be minus 2x to the fifth. Then our next highest exponent is this 3x to the fourth. So we're going to do plus 3x to the fourth. We don't have anything that's x to the third. We do have a minus 4x squared, so that comes next. And then last but not least, we have this plus 3x. Notice that you always keep the symbol in front of the number with the term. So this 2x to the fifth included that negative. Let's do the second one. So here we have a 1 minus 3x squared plus 2x. The highest exponent is this 2. So we're going to take that term first. We're going to have minus 3x squared. Next we have this 2x. And then finally we just have the plus 1. Our last example, our highest exponent is this a to the fourth. So 2a to the fourth comes first. Our next highest exponent is a 3, so we have plus 5a to the third power. Then we have this a to the second power, and notice that the 5 in front of the a to the second power is negative, so we have minus 5a squared. And last but not least, we have this plus 6. Now that we've talked about standard form, we're going to talk about addition, but a huge part of addition is like terms. So you guys have probably done like terms before, but like terms are terms with the same variable, or variables even, and exponents. So we're going to look at some examples and determine if the terms are like terms or not. So this first example, we have 3x and 2x squared. But because they do not have the same exponent, these are not like terms. The second one, 4x to the fourth power and negative 1/2 x to the fourth power, these are like terms because they both have an x and they both have an x to the fourth power. So the variable and the exponents are the same. 3y squared and 2x squared. These have the same exponent, but they don't have the same variable, so they are not like terms. Last but not least, we have 4x to the third and 6x to the third. They both have the same variable and they have the same exponent, so these are like terms. So when we do polynomial addition, really this is just combining like terms, which you've done before. That's supposed to be a t, terms. Alright, so we're going to add the polynomials together by combining like terms. So what we're going to do, and then we're going to write them in standard form. I'm going to look for like terms. So I can see that I have a 3x squared right here. And I'm going to look for any other terms with an x squared. And I can see that there's this minus 4x squared here. So 3x squared combined with minus 4x squared, that's minus 1x squared. My next term I'm going to worry about is this plus 2x, and I can see there is another term that just has an x. It's also a plus 2x. So 2x plus 2x, that's 4x. And last but not least, I've got this minus 5 hanging out by itself, nothing to combine with, so this is minus 5. And this one, let's see if it's written in standard form. Do my exponents go from greatest to least? I've got an x squared, an x with no exponent, and then nothing. So this one already is written in standard form. Let's try our next one. I've got a minus 4x to the third power, and I'm going to look and see if I have any other minus 4x or anything else that's x to the third power, and I can see that I've got this minus 2x to the third power. If I combine those, minus 4x to the third power and minus 2x to the third power, that's going to become minus 6x to the third power. And you'll notice I didn't change the variable or the exponent. So it didn't become x to the ninth, it didn't become x to the third, x to the ninth, or x to the sixth. It's still x to the third power. Next up, I've got this 9x, and are there any others that just have an x? Yep, I've got this plus x right there. So this is going to be plus 10x. Now I've got a 3x to the fourth, and I see there's a 5x to the fourth. So if I can combine those, that becomes an 8x to the fourth. And then I can see I've got these terms that don't have partners, no like terms. So this is plus 3x squared and a minus 4. This one I can see is not written in standard form. So I'm going to go through and carefully write it in standard form. My highest exponent is an x to the fourth, so that one comes first. 8x to the fourth. The next one will be the x to the third, so minus 6x to the third, and I have used those, so I'm going to cross them off. Then I've got an x squared, so plus 3x squared, plus 10x, minus 4. So I just went and wrote them in order. Okay, let's try the next one. I see I've got a 3a. I don't have any other single a's, so I've got a 3a. Then I've got a 2a squared, and I've got a minus 4a squared, so together that makes minus 2a squared. I've got a plus 5 and a plus 3, so that's plus 8. And then I've got this little dude by himself, plus 8a to the third. And if I write this again, it's not in standard form. My highest exponent is a 3, so I'm going to start with that term. So I have 8a to the third power. Do I have any with an a to the second power? Oh, yes, I do. So I've got minus 2a squared. Notice that I kept the minus with the 2. Then I've got a plus 3a. And then last but not least, plus 8. Let's do this last one. So I've got a 7y to the third minus 2y to the third, so that's 5y to the third power. Then I've got a minus 6y squared and a plus 5y squared, so that's minus 1y squared. And then I've got these ones hanging out by themselves at the end that can't be combined. And this one, let's see, do my exponents go from greatest to least? 5y to the third minus 1y squared plus 3y minus 1. Yes, they do, so that one is in standard form.